This is an example video. Basically what I did is I followed the primary frequency, and then I left that alone in case I messed up the copy that I'm actually doing some attenuating with, so I have the original, I don't mess it up or something like that. That is the original following around doing the automation. And this is just a really simple example. That in this vocal up here in this area up in here, that basically what I had going on is I had this problem right up in here, and it was like where these frequencies went down, I'm getting some noise and crap up in here that was really causing some serious issues with the vocals. And other than that, they sounded fine. So this, I mean, it could be anything in between those frequencies or anywhere. And this just shows sometimes it can be real simple and do miracles on your audio. And so what I did is I just went back and, and I automated it and let it fix it. And it did an awesome job. You can sit there and adjust how much gain you want to put down, how much force you want to force down on it, or if you want to adjust the Q a little bit to try to if you got a little bit wider bass. And one other thing is you might want to put two of them together if it's a wider area or something, and do it that way, And also, you could even put a multi-band. Well, the range is kind of small, but you could put another one right next to it to widen out that range a little bit that you're covering if you've got a little bit more in there that you want to kind of force down. But I just want to give a simple example so that you could see how simple it is that, a lot of times it can be just something that simple that there was it rolled off here and there was this other stuff going on that wasn't really the problem. It turned out it was in here, and basically it cleaned up the track like 100%. I mean, it cleaned out all kinds of garbage out of it. That really did a good job, and that could be anything. And and like I said, do an example for like if you got something going on in the background or something, that it more than likely is the process like that, but you're going to have to put a few more nodes on it, and after you do the initial automation from the primary frequency where it's going, and focus in between some frequencies to cut out the main part of it, because more than likely that it might be. If it's not right on the primary frequencies of the timbre you're working on, it's probably between 4 or 5 frequencies, maybe, 3, 4, 5 frequencies, main components of whatever the noise is in the background that's causing the most problem. That you can cut most of it out with maybe 2, 3 nodes, and then get the primary frequencies of the timbre that's of the noise that you don't want out, and do that automation with 3 or 4 of them maybe, that will take care of most of the problem. Does that make sense? Because a lot of times it can be just that simple. And so that's a real simple example just to show you that, and it didn't take me that long, I slowed down the track to about 10, it went from 120 down to 10, and I went through that area and I did the automation on the primary frequency, followed around really super slow, all of its changes, so it was as close to whatever's going on as possible. And then the changes up here should be fairly consistent with how the primary everything else is based on the primary frequency, so it should all move around the same way for the most part. Just distances between the harmonics will change. And it did a real good job, and that was just a simple example to show you some of the stuff you can do to try to eliminate problem areas in a timbre, in a frequency, or in an instrument, or noise, a frequency, all kinds of stuff. And that was a pretty simple example, and it wasn't that hard to do, and it actually worked out pretty easy. It wasn't some huge project that took 3 days, because I'm trying to remaster some, old, Bing Crosby's, scratchy record from, before dinosaurs roamed the earth, So anyway, it's a cool tool, and that's just an example I wanted to show you that it's just a really cool way to deal with noise and distortions and not unwanted harmonic content, things in the background that you want to deal with to try to get out for the most part, that it might only take 3 or 4 nodes, 3 or 4 frequencies of attenuating, and doing it that way to clean it up, and you've got a beautiful track. Peace, love, have a nice day.